Hello, this is Dr. Mukhtar Ridima. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is a number of behaviors and environmental controls that people take in order to make sure that they sleep properly. Usually, when people have difficulty sleeping, which is also called insomnia, as I discussed in my previous video, it is probably because they are not observing proper sleep hygiene. So, in this video, I'm going to kind of highlight it and see whether if you have sleep difficulties, you are exhibiting proper sleep hygiene or otherwise. Evidence suggests that people who exhibit or who practice good sleep hygiene are able to sleep very well. So it has been found to be useful for people who have mild to moderate insomnia. So sleep hygiene, like I said, are just behaviors that we advise you to kind of undertake and the kind of things you need to do for the sleep environment and also some things that you should avoid, some behaviors you should avoid, and also some things you should avoid concerning your sleep environment. So, one of them is sleeping in the day for 2 hours or more is not encouraged if you have difficulty sleeping. And it's obvious if you have slept in the afternoon or in the evening and you have slept for 2 hours or more, it is no wonder that you're going to have difficulty falling asleep at night. So the advice here is that never engage in sleep in the afternoon or in the evening that is up to 2 hours or even more than that. So if you must have a daytime nap, make sure that it is probably just a few minutes. All right. So the second thing about sleep hygiene is going to bed at different times from day to day. So this is called irregular sleep schedule. So when you have an irregular sleep schedule, which means in one day you go to bed by 7 p.m., whereas another day you go to bed by 10 p.m. So this is an irregular sleep schedule and it is likely going to affect your sleep. So the teaching is that you keep a regular sleep schedule. That has been found to improve your sleep and you can easily sleep after going to bed. So if you have an irregular sleep schedule, on the other hand, you are more likely to have difficulty falling asleep because your brain is confused now. There is a clock in our head, the so-called biological clock, which tracks our wakefulness and our nights and our sleeps. So if you have an irregular sleep schedule, it is likely to confuse that biological clock in our head. So, and that's why it is advised to go to bed at regular time. So if it is 10 o'clock or 10 p.m. that you think is adequate for you to be going to bed, then make that your bedtime and make it consistent. The next sleep hygiene point is exercise. So people who have intense physical exercise within 1 hour of going to sleep are more likely to have poor sleep. So the advice therefore is that do not have an intense exercise in the evening generally, because if you exercise intensely in the night or in the evening close to the time of your going to bed, the tendency is that you're already exciting your brain, you're already exciting your mind, and you're already exciting your body. So that is going to make it too difficult for your body to feel like wanting to sleep because your body is feeling high, your mind is feeling high. Exercise has that effect on you. So that's why it is advised that in the evenings, as much as possible, you should avoid intense exercise. Intense is variously defined. So if the exercise makes you to sweat, that can be considered an intense exercise. All right. So the next point is use of alcohol, caffeine, or tobacco within 4 hours of going to bed. It is generally not advised to use any of these substances in the evening, especially within 4 hours of going to bed. So if you find that you're having difficulty sleeping and because you use any of these substances, then perhaps the reason why you have difficulty falling asleep or maintaining your sleep is because of this behavior. So oftentimes if you stop taking alcohol, tobacco, or caffeine in the hours leading up to the time that you go to bed, you find that you improve your sleep significantly. And in any case, the use of alcohol, tobacco, particularly are associated with many other health problems. And these health problems, it is advised to, in order to prevent them, that you do not take alcohol completely, or you cut down on alcohol and you stop taking tobacco altogether. Perhaps in the future, we're going to do videos on the health implications of taking alcohol and tobacco smoking. So, people who have difficulty sleeping, when they change this kind of behavior, in which if they must take alcohol, they must take it very early in the day. If they must take tobacco, they take it early in the day, or if they take caffeine, it must be early in the day. And by evening, the effect of these substances would have went off. They find that their sleep tends to improve significantly. The teaching, therefore, is that you should cut down on the amount of alcohol, caffeine, and tobacco that you use, especially in the evening. All right, so the next point is that some people use the bed for things other than sleeping. It is said that you should use your bed only for sleeping or for intimacy with your spouse. Now, if you use the bed for anything other than that, your brain tends to associate those things with bed rather than associating your bed with sleeping. And so, for instance, if you watch movies in bed, or if you play with your computer in bed, or if you play Ludo or any games on your bed, tendency is that your brain will begin to associate those activities with your bed rather than associating your bed with sleep. And so it is not advisable for you to do any other activities in your bed apart from sleeping and apart from intimacy with your partner. So the next point on sleep hygiene is to do with the sleep environment. So here we're talking about the bed. Now make sure that the bed is comfortable, and so the mattress must be comfortable, which means it must not be too soft, it must not be too hard, and then the pillows must be comfortable, your blankets and your bed sheets must be clean and comfortable at all times. So if you find that you're having difficulty sleeping, and maybe for some reason your bed itself is not very comfortable, more oftentimes if you improve the comfort of your bed, you would be able to sleep better. All right, so the next thing is the bedroom now. The bedroom itself, how comfortable is it? So, things to do with noise, the brightness, and the temperature. So, it is very clear and it's common sense that when your bedroom is noisy, or when the brightness of the room is too bright, or when there is a lot of high temperature, or when it is too hot, or when it is too cold, these are conditions that will make your bedroom very uncomfortable. Again, if you control for these factors, you make sure that your room is not too noisy, it's not too bright, and then the temperature is comfortable for you. And of course, it's not too stuffy or it's not too humid. Then you would realize that your sleep has suddenly improved. So again, this is something we ask you to check when you realize that you're not sleeping well. The next thing is what you do when you go to bed. Some people, when they go to bed, that's the time when they start thinking or brainstorming or planning or worrying. Of course, doing those things will mentally activate you. Thinking, of course, is a mentally activating thing. When you start brainstorming, when you start planning for something, or when you start worrying about something, this is these are things that would get you excited, or that will get you worried, and that will get you too stimulated for sleep to catch you. So again, use your library or your study or your living room to do all these things, so that by the time you're done with them and you go to bed, you are really ready to go to sleep. So, and again, if you have difficulty sleeping, or you check to see that you do not use your bed for any of these things. Do not use the bed to think, to brainstorm, to plan, or to worry about things. Okay, the next point is where some people find that they go to bed when they are upset, or when they are nervous, or when they are angry, or when they are stressed. Again, if you go to bed stressed, angry, nervous, or upset, then it is going to be difficult for you to fall asleep. So the advice here is that don't go to bed with any of these emotions, with any of these situations. Make sure that you don't go to bed stressed. So anything that will relax you and remove your stress, you can take a warm bath before sleeping or before going to bed. That can have a calming effect and it may reduce your stress. Then make sure that in your bedroom, in your living room or in your study, you've already decluttered your mind, you've already wind down before you go to bed. So that by the time you go to bed, you're not carrying over any of these things, maybe from your day, into the bedroom, and that might stop you or prevent you from initiating sleep in time. So the next point about sleep hygiene is some people usually do some important work just before bedtime. Again, like we said, there is importance or it is important to unwind before going to bed. Unwinding meaning that you are done with all the important things and you probably have left them in your office or in your study, and then you have had time in your study or in your living room to unwind, to declutter your mind from any worries or any concerns or any important work that was on your mind, so that by the time you go to bed, your mind is completely free, you are not stressed, you're not thinking about anything, you're not planning on doing anything, and the sleep environment is comfortable, the bed itself is comfortable, and so you're able to initiate sleep. Evidence suggests that people who have mild to moderate insomnia are able to improve their sleep if they practice some of these sleep hygiene behaviors. And also the ones that you should avoid, such as daytime naps, and all those things, if you implement them, most people find that it helps them in sleeping properly. And again, by cutting down on alcohol, making sure that you do not use tobacco or caffeine containing beverages, all these things have been found to improve their sleep significantly. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening.